we are see where your worms is here in this world. You can't depend on nobody. You cannot depend on nobody. It is your strategy in the future is to hope say or you an answer will ba and I'll be depending on what we especially a man. Then think of plan B. I saw something interesting yesterday, and I'm here YouTube and I'm Chris Eubank. Yeah, I don't know if you love boxing fights or fans or not, but I watched it a couple weeks ago. It was fighting. It was fighting Conor Ben. Now, not only Papa is estranged for a while, for a couple of years. Until none Papa per se, you never so. And I think the dad was concerned for the child, but anyway, eventually, the dad turned up the night before to reconcile with his kid. So Eubank, I didn't even know that. Say, oh Papa is one of the key, most important figures in your life. Even though they're in the background, even though Usano, like your mom takes precedence, as oh Papa, it will be at Nisum Kata also. It's key. It's as oh, if your Papa cover be and I said, oh Papa, yeah, even though say no one hold you piano, so I affect too. Pa, oh mommy, day to day life. And oh Papa so takes a persona of discipline traditionally. It's winning one way yeah, but have it you would think say he didn't like you, but it was a ploy. One had to take the disciplinary role, the other one had to take the nurturing role. That's how in general it works. Right? So anyway, back to the Eubank story. He couldn't believe it that the dad called him the night before. He said he nearly didn't pick up. He nearly didn't pick up the phone the night before, and he picked up. And then his dad said, you know, wanted to meet him. He called an Uber. The Uber came down in a hotel, and they were talking and everything. And you could tell. I really like the guy because he's even though they're trying to paint him as Obia to be booed and everything, but when he speaks to me, he speaks very thoughtfully. What the moment that the family have a good influence on him. It's in the casa and it shows anyway. So make a story, yeah. Ne papa ni buy on ne casa sa na ne papa ni busan say, what do you think I want from you? And that Eubank kind of story. Eubank say what he thought was he thought of the fact say ni papa will busan iska. Ni papa will busan iska. It's you know, or say I was hoping say ni papa will busan iska because busan iska. All the thinking of he likes about his dad, and he said, "Oh, the dad really likes him, or his dad really loves him, and it was there for him." You know, it would diminish because then he didn't come for money. You know, so he was so happy that, and then the Papa Kasa and Papa and said, Papa said, "What do you think I want from you?" I said, "Nothing. I don't want anything from you." And he said it was a weight of his mind, you know, because then Obusan is scar. So it tells me that Papa is so key to you. Obi your boxer, strong, everything, blah blah, no. You know, so not or percent Papa buy, you know, even though he would have gone through the emotions, but only Papa buy in a one. But later down the story, another interesting thing happened. The reporter asked him, what did you get? And he said, "Oh, I had around 8 figures." He said, "Was it around 8 figures?" He said, "We report around 8 figures." He said, "Yeah." He said his amount and the sponsor or the turkey or the sheikh granted it 8 figures. Now if 6 figures is a million, 7 million is so Yaman said, "Yeah, well we can work it out anyway." Now going back to the first bit I said 2 seconds ago, or say Senkani Papa Busano Sika in Konin Kasabium. Because next is any papa back for scar. But any papa can't about for nothing anyway. So on people being funeral. But I just thought about it, I was like, hold on. If you're earning eight figures, 8 figures, so that tells me like millions, right? And that's why my papa 1 million now. What's wrong with that? Oh, dog, papa, pa, oh, dog, papa, pa, oh, papa, set or till or near you maybe. Everyone's always skinny cry. Everyone's always be cry anyway. Oh, papa, and I'll cook, and I'll papa, but everyone said or buy for different reasons. But woman 1 million and I there. So who be yes can to me my papa numbia out of in proportion. Make us a show papa. But 8 figures, now woman 1 million, also one in Casabium to be so scar. Oh yeah, Bema for 1 million. If you're a man in this West, and I bet Biakra, to be honest, it's the whole world now. Think of your strategy. Here is a strategy because your kids are not going to look after you. They're not going to. I suppose it applies. They can't bear my point of view because number one, me bear my number two, because my home say I'm they tend to be a bit further away from their dad more and more. That's what I've noticed. Because what normally happens is the guy normally sacrifices number 4, BBR, all they just do is work and to make sure say BBR you okay. And I thought to myself, I could not believe it. And that's why I made this video. I thought, hold on, I can't believe that almost will be 1 million out of 8 figures. And that over and I eating. So what I thought about is, will be risk an input way. When you're not, why you're independent, you know, but in one for the family home. And they say in the sana, that's what happens here. You just like you just looking after your children until they go to university, and then that's it. They go and live their life, and that's it. You're broken. Now, don't forget, from children, from kindergarten all the way down to university. I'm gonna make a video on this last time. I remember asking ChatGPT. It was, I don't know if it's 2% or 20% of the lifetime of a child, from if you take away the time that they are in school. So you just have weekends only, or evenings. Even you can calculate the time. It was a minuscule amount of time you spend with your child. So really, you didn't really raise them. You didn't really raise them. Someone else raised them. Society raised them. Society now, I decided to be independent. And you know, as you're getting older and older, you're becoming more estranged from your children. And that's what's happening. It's daytime now. You look outside, it's quiet. Windows are open, it's quiet. Because everyone's busy working, everyone's going to work, everyone's going to school and everything. So the schools are raising them all the way down to get to a point where they don't need to listen to you anymore. Your jokes are not funny anymore. You tickle them, it's not funny anymore. And then that's it. So, all the point I'm trying to make is, if you're dependent on future to say your children will do well, will look after you, fine. Try and make, number one, try to counter this. Try and make your home as welcome as possible. As they're getting older, loosen the strings a little bit more, but try and engage them with the short time that you have. Do homeschooling more, right? If you can. I'm talking for a younger person now. When you're going to have kids, do homeschooling. Try and incorporate homeschooling so you can see your children as much as possible. Because the holiday time that you're going to have with them, you can't afford to go anywhere with them anyway. And you probably can't afford to take the 6 weeks off. You probably have a month. And out of that month, you have to stagger it during the year. So you're going to have less and less child with your children. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, the Eubank situation anyway. You know, as I said, I like the guy. The guy's cool. Just the fact that he wasn't going to chat to his dad again. And then the fact that he said if your dad had asked him for $1 million, he was scared, said, big money, maybe $1 million. And for you getting 8 figures, you should be able to break off $1 million for your dad. Anyway, All right, we'll talk later.